Get it?
And welcome to a special edition of the Smokin Tabacco Show. My name is Matt Tabacco from SmokinTabacco.com. I am joined with my pal, Nicole, who's with us tonight. Smokin Nicole is with us. And we have a special guest with us on this special edition. We have Gerard Abadjian from Mardo Cigars and MardoCigar.com. Gerard, welcome to the show.
Thank you. How's it going, guys?
It's going really good. Tonight, I am smoking the Byron Aristocratus United Cigar and Selected Tobacco. One of my favorites. I want to smoke something a little longer, something special. Gerard, what are you smoking tonight?
Jake Wyatt, Fourth Dimension, Bellicoso.
Ooh, those are cool. We want to definitely talk to you about those in a second. I know that's your line from Mardo. Nicole, what are you smoking over there?
I'm smoking the Opus X, the Triple X.
Ooh, Power Ranger. There you go. That's a good one. It's a fun little power smoke. So yeah, we got some good cigars on here tonight. Fun little talk. This is a little different for us. We normally have our regular Wednesday night show, so it's going to be a little different. It's not going to run the same format, and we won't have our segments and whatnot. But we have Gerard with us. He's going to talk about himself a little bit. We're going to talk about Mardo a little bit. We're going to talk about kind of a little bit like our last episode where we talked about holiday shopping specials. What's hot right now from another retailer who's now on the show with us, just kind of see what's good out there, what's hot, what's popular, what's in stock, what should people buy. So Gerard, before we get into that, I follow you a lot on social media. I've been a customer of yours before, and you guys have quite the website, and you're starting to build a pretty good following online. How long have you guys been in business for?
Oh, wow. So we started in the cigar industry back in 1994 or 93, I want to say. Just when the first cigar boom hit in the early 90s, mid 90s is when we were actually got into it. We got into it by accident, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you get into the cigar industry by accident?
So my mother used to work at the Ritz-Carlton in Laguna Niguel, the hotel, and she saw that chocolates and things of that nature were always selling. So my parents opened up a chocolate store, and my dad always enjoyed cigars, and he put a little tabletop humidor or countertop humidor at the chocolate store. And somehow, some way, he started noticing people are coming in for chocolate, but they always wanted to talk about cigars and buy cigars. And he was like, heck with it, let's just do cigars instead. And he just turned into a full-blown tobacco shop.
Wow. That's pretty cool. I mean, I've definitely heard similar stories to that where people just they start out one way, and then with cigar people, they started out like with a general store or and then the cigars just became the thing, and then let's dump everything else and we're now a cigar shop, which is really cool. I love hearing those stories. It's always fun. It's always cool to hear where people came from, and just kind of how they got into the business.
And that's my dad's name is Mardo. But when he passed back in, I think about 5 years ago, I'm losing track of time, but 5 years ago when he passed away, we wanted to keep the namesake. And that's when we started the website. Actually, when he passed away is when we started the website.
Really?
Yeah, he was a pretty old school guy. He wasn't much of an online, user. But I'm a firefighter by trade. That's what I do. That's my bread and butter. That's what I do. I'm still an active firefighter here in Orange County Fire Authority.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I'm like 2 days on straight at the fire station. That's why sometimes you don't see me online or on social media posting anything, because I'm at the fire station. And then I'm off for 4 days straight. So when I'm off, that's when I come into the office. So when he passed, I wasn't sure what I was going to do, how I'm going to maintain two things. And that's when Neil, my best friend, joined me, and we did the online, and that's what he does, a lot of the back end work, the infrastructure, the operational, all the logistics, things of that nature. I focus a lot on purchasing, just having my background knowledge of product, and I do majority of sales, but now that's starting to change and we're embarking on a lot of marketing. So that's what's going on with Mardo.
Yeah, you definitely have a really good handle on the social media aspect of it. I see you on there all the time. I follow you on Instagram. I see your story updates. I see, you post your specials and stuff online, which is really good. And I really like to mention that and applaud you for that because, and it's not a knock against other retailers, because I know everyone kind of does their business differently, and I totally respect that. I feel like social media is a really important tool, though, and when I do see people really running with that, I think that's great because that's like the way most people connect now, and to be on those platforms and to be able to connect with those people. I mean, nine out of 10 people, when you see them on their phone, like just kicking around, what are they doing? They're on Facebook, they're on Instagram, they're scrolling through the feed. They're not searching through Google for stuff. They're on social media. So if you can grab their attention that way, I think that's great. And I think you do a really good job with that. I didn't know you were a firefighter, and that's really cool. That's a pretty respectable career you have there. That's awesome.
Thanks. Yeah, I started pretty late in life with that career. I was 34 when I got hired.
Nice.
I've been in the cigar industry since I was 19. I'm 44, and when the tobacco tax just kept increasing and increases in the state of California, I was just like, I got to find something else to do. I just, it was a real, a buzzkill when it came to that. It was just kept driving business outside of California into online. And that's why I seek something else, more stable, something that's not going to, increase my blood pressure all the time.
Yeah.
So that's how I did that, and then now I'm doing both. Actually, once you get the bug of cigars, you can't get away. I left the industry for a good amount of years, and when I came back, I was pretty. I wouldn't say it was a shock, but there was a lot of brands that did not exist. Like there was no Tatuaje, USA Tobacco was still around, and when I came back, it was gone. USA Tobacco got purchased by Altivis, and so a lot of things had changed. There was no My Father cigar, so a lot of brands that I had started seeing when I got back in the industry, I was like, who are these guys? So there was a lot of there was a new learning curve that I had to get myself into. Right. And then seeing social media, I was like, so there was a lot of learning to do. But I picked it up pretty quick. I think there's still a lot more stuff out there that I think I need to learn. But it's what makes it fun. It makes it challenging.
Yeah, I think that it's one of those things. You never stop learning. And as long as you're willing to keep learning and keep innovating, I think that's important, especially when you're a business owner. You just always have to find new ways to make it work and to make your business thrive and to better yourself and better your business. And it seems like you work really hard at that. It's one of the things I like about you and your company that I think you guys, especially you really get yourself out there. You really push, and I can tell you work hard, especially where you're running that and you're a firefighter too. Kind of having two things. That's a lot to take on. So I applaud you for being able to juggle all that down. I know that you're smoking a Jake Wyatt, and I am a little bit familiar with those. I've had them myself. They're pretty good. Tell us a little bit more about those. When did that line come to be?
So James and Coleman are the owners of Sinistro Cigars, and I became acquainted with Coleman at the trade show in Vegas. We're actually at the Roma Hospitality party in Vegas, and because of social media, I had recognized Coleman. Coleman recognized me. Whatever, started talking, and he was telling me, how things were going at his booth, and we started carrying his product. We started doing pretty good, and pushing the Sinistro product, which we are the #1 account. We sell a lot of Sinistro, and he told me James lives in LA, and he's Armenian too. You guys got to hook up, blah 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 blah, because he's Armenian, you're Armenian. I'm like, oh my God, here we go with this Armenian thing. And so
you guys all have to stick together.
Yeah, right. Which I'm such a whitewashed Armenian guy. So So James and I meet because he lives in LA. I live in Orange County, and he comes now. He was just here yesterday actually, and we see each other 2-3 times a month. And so he's like looking around. He's like, "Why don't you have your own brand?" I said, "I'm a retailer. I'm not a manufacturer. I know nothing about cigars." He's like, "I'll teach you." I was like, "I don't know." Anyway, back and forth. He's like, "You're coming down to the Dominican, and I'm going to take you, and I'm going to be your host." I was like, "All right, we'll go." Neil was like, "Yeah, that'll be great." So we go down to the Dominican. We went around because they have their product made in La Aurora, which is a fantastic factory, huge. The place is so big, makes your head spin. Sometimes I forget what part of the factory I'm standing in. And they're so large. And I don't know if I'm a control freak, but trying to make blends at La Aurora, I just didn't feel that I was getting my hands in the dirt that I wanted to, because I like to know how things start from the beginning. I want to visit the farm. I want to know what product, what tobacco. So we had to go source out our own thing, just because of the way I do things, and me and Neil wanted to do things. So we got in touch with a friend of mine that I made some phone calls here in the United States. He said, "Hey, I have a friend of mine. He's transitioning from Costa Rica to Dominican Republic. He wants to start a factory there. Why don't you give him a shout?" And this gentleman's name is Joel. JVM is the name of the factory. It's a brand new factory. Joel has been doing this for a long time in Costa Rica, and he actually knows how to grow tobacco too. So it was great. And he lives stateside, Joel does. And so when I called him, it was, no language barrier. It was just straight up English to English, and he knew exactly what I'm looking for, and personalities just clicked. And so we went to Dominican. We started working on blends, and he started showing me the ropes and allowed me to create blends. And Neil and I have always had this palate in a cigar that we like to enjoy. And every time we find that cigar we like to enjoy, it's like $25, $30, And we're like, even if we buy the stuff at our cost, it's still going to be quite a bit of, expense. So I want to work with the type of tobacco that gives you that sweet, creamy, medium strength, but full flavor, very silky smooth. So that's how Jake White started. And Jake White is actually a whole entire entity on its own. It is not part of Mardo. Mardo is just a retail operation. Jake White Cigars is a wholesale manufacturing company that doesn't sell to consumers. Mardo website actually has to buy from Jake White, and we can't even discount it actually, because we also distribute to dealers. And there's a 10%, contract, no less than 10% discount on the product, where Mardo actually has to adhere to full MSRP guidelines just to secure the integrity of the price. So that's how Jake White started. And then from there, this is actually the Fourth Dimension was the first blend we made. Then we said, why don't we throw a Connecticut on it? We did that, but it didn't taste right. So we had to go back to the blend and blend it according to the Connecticut. And then we're like, all right, let's try a Sumatra. And the Sumatra Maduro tasted horrible. I didn't like it, which made us go down to the Dominican 6 times in the year 2019. So then we tried the San Andreas. Then we're like, okay, we got to switch and complement the blend to the wrapper. And then we did a Candela. And so every single wrapper created its own blend to complement that wrapper. And so it just became a lot of work. We did it. Once we had that, I wanted to do something fuller body because I like stronger cigars at night. And that's when the lithium came about. And and I did create another blend as well once we finished the lithium, but that's not ready because the lithium is a pre-release 6x50, which we sold out. We are going to make some more because we're getting a lot of requests for it, but we have not completed the portfolio because we still have to see what sizes we're going to come out with. Obviously, we have to do the Robustas and the Toros, and so that's still in the works. So once we finish the lithium portfolio, I'll introduce the other blend that I'm smoking all the time.
Well, it sounds like you really had your hands full with that, and that's awesome. I mean, I think that's so you've got a retail operation, you're a firefighter, and now you're over there and you're blending cigars, and you got all that going on. That's a lot of work, and props to you for getting it all done. And like I said, you've done a really nice job. So,
Thanks.
and I'm excited to see what else you come out with. I haven't had the lithiums myself. I've seen them. I've followed them a little bit. So at some point I'll get my hands on those hopefully, and I can give them a shot.
Don't
But I
believe ratings.
don't
Ratings are.
believe ratings.
I'm like, what? I'm like, you guys rated this at what? I'm like, that where we get phone calls, we want more of that cigar, we want more of that cigar. Okay, we're great, and we're like, oh, I'm sure it's gonna get very good ratings, and we see a rating, we're like, what? Anyway, so I think sometimes people mess with us, so we start advertising with them or something. But anyway, we don't.
You know, I learned a long time ago not to listen to what other people felt about a cigar or really read the ratings, because there was, and I'm not even going to say what it is, which is kind of a running joke, as I always say, but I'm not going to say what it is, but there was a cigar, a whole line, that when I first got into cigars, everyone was like, oh, it's gross, like, oh, those suck, you don't want that. And I kind of would go along with it. And then one day I'm like, I've never actually smoked it myself. Even if it does suck, I can't say, oh yeah, it sucks, because I never tried it. And one day I said, I'm going to do it. And so I got a couple of each, and I had them, and I went, I actually really like this cigar. So I don't know why I listen to everyone else. I've just wasted all that time of like drinking the Kool-Aid, and like
Right.
I could have been smoking them. So now I keep plenty of them on hand. I love them. But yeah, I learned that lesson kind of the hard way, because I could have been enjoying them for a lot longer, but I decided to listen to everyone else. So I like to try everything. I like to try new stuff all the time. I don't care who makes it, where it comes from. If I haven't had it, sure, I'll try it. And I'm there. And I try to give a cigar at least 2 tries. If I, like if I don't like it the first time, I will try it again. Just in case, that was a bad batch, it was a bad stick. I give it 2 shots before I'm like, I just don't like it, and I move on from it. I feel like that's the best way. Don't be biased. Don't listen to other people. Try something for you, what your palate is. Give it at least 2 shots. If you don't like it after 2, then okay, then you don't like it. So I totally feel you on that one.
Yeah, because people are always learning. So even if a manufacturer doesn't have a very good reputation, maybe they learned from their mistakes and they're now, revamping and making things much better. So you never know, man. You never know. Don't ever.
It's true. And you know what other thing is true, and I've had this conversation with a lot of people. Your palate can change. You could try a cigar now, and you could not like it. You try it again, a couple weeks, you don't like it. Okay, fine. You write it off. But you try that cigar again, maybe a year, 2, 3 years later, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I really like this full-bodied Maduro cigar now, because my palate changed and I smoke more stuff like that now, and now I really like this cigar. And the stuff that I was crazy about 2 years ago, that I was like, oh my god, I gotta have boxes and boxes, I don't like it anymore. People's palates can change.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right about that too. Manufacturers, they might put something out that wasn't well received, and they get a bad rep for it, but they put something else out because they're like, all right, well, this didn't work. What did we do wrong? Maybe they changed something. Maybe they get a different crop. Maybe they blend it different. And then all of a sudden they do have a home run. So yeah, you can't write off a manufacturer or a brand just because of, one time there was one cigar you didn't like. I've definitely played that game as well. I'm like, well, I'll still try it because I didn't like that one, but maybe this is different. Yeah, I think it's really well said, and it's really important. That's something that we don't talk about a lot on the show, but I think that's really important, especially for a newcomer too, who is going through that initial phase of just trying everything that they can get. I remember I went through that phase. Nicole went through that phase. When you start smoking. She's still kind of going through it, but she's kind of getting her palate down. She's getting her bearings straight. But yeah, I remember after that first year or so, you're buying everything, and you're just trying everything because you're just trying to figure out what you like, who you like. You kind of own your palate. Now, like I'm at a point where like I kind of know roughly certain things I like at certain times with certain things, and I can kind of feel my way out that way. But and I'm sure you kind of got that kind of mentality too. But yeah, no, that's really important. That's really well said. So we wanted to talk to you on the show tonight. Obviously, you also are a retailer, as we talked about, and it is the holiday season. It's one of probably the biggest shopping times of the year. We had another holiday special earlier this week on one of our other episodes. Now we wanted to talk to you and just kind of feel out, what is popular at Mardo? What do you guys feel is great cigars for gifts or accessories for gifts? What's hot right now? What's popular? What do you guys really like getting a lot of requests for? Just kind of all that fun stuff as we go into the holiday season. Well, we're in the holiday season, and people are out there. They're ordering gifts for people. So we wanted to talk to you as a retailer and just kind of see like what's kind of going on out there. So I'll kind of turn it over to you, and you can run with that any way you want to.
Sure. Yeah. Earlier to Nicole, I did send her some links of 5 items that she requested that I could mention. So I'll go ahead with that. Obviously, I'm going to talk about the Jake Wyatt. This is the newest addition to the Jake Wyatt line, and what this is a 5-pack. It comes already pre-boxed, which is really nice. So if anybody wants to purchase a gift, they can buy this straight, and as soon as you get it in the mail, you can go ahead and start gift wrapping it. You don't have to find a bag or anything like that. And it is a slide out, which once they do slide it out, they can see the cigars, and it does have the Artistico effects on the cigar, and it has one of every single line that Jake Wyatt offers: the Candela, the 2 Habanos, the Maduro, and the Connecticut. And these are in Toro. These are $60. And that's straight MSRP, and if shipping is free, so that makes it a no-brainer. And we do have those on the website that are available. We just got these in, so in the back it does say what each cigar is and what the names of them are. So that'll be a great introduction for the line of a brand new cigar line you guys probably never heard of. And it's hyper boutique, so we only make so many per year when it comes to that. So that is a very good gift idea. Samplers do very, very well, especially for this year, because a lot of manufacturers kind of held back on production when it came to samplers. Our industry just didn't make enough because of the fear of what's going to happen with COVID. So we did feel that there is a drawdown in samplers this year. Not a lot of companies made enough of them. So that's one item.
And sorry to cut you off there, but I did throw it up on screen so our viewers are taking a look at that. So it's a mild medium under strength. The wrappers vary, but this is the up close what the set looks like.
Yeah, if you like Davidoff White Label, Avo, PG, Atabey, Byron, what you're smoking, you like that creamy, smooth, very sweet flavored cigars with some nice nuttiness to it, Jake Wyatt is right along that profile. Do you want me to move on to product number 2, Nicole?
I think yeah, there you
go. There we go. So right now we are looking at the Aganorsa Love Bellicoso sampler and the Aganorsa Love Toro sampler.
Yeah, so in my hand, I do have the Aganorsa Bellicoso. Now there's something special about these samplers that I have put together personally. I have them in only Bellicoso and Toro size. I only have so many of these. When it comes to Nicaraguan manufacturers and tobacco, I have a special place in my palate for Aganorsa. I just love their product. They make fantastic stuff. Guardian of the Farm Del Palo is my favorite from the Guardian of the Farm. Warp does a very good job with them. Some Viaje stuff. They make a lot of good stuff, and they have tons and tons of good tobacco. And I love their Corojo. So these are from Aganorsa. They don't have bands on them, but these are premium long filler hand rolled cigars that I actually these are for me. I smoke these, so I haven't told anybody that I have these. And I was like, you know what? I have so many of them, and I want to show people how good these cigars are because I like to retrohale, and their retrohale and these cigars are so complex, citrus, spice. It's just incredible. And then when I'm finished, it has like a nuttiness to it after. Like I'm talking about like an hour after I smoked it, I could still taste the nuttiness. And to me, it's a fantastic cigar. And these are like sub $10 sticks when it comes to retail. So that's why I put these together, and that's why I call it Gerard's Aganorsa Love Sampler. So when I run out, I'm going to have to see if I can get more of these. I don't have a very big connection with them, but I was lucky to get my hands on these. And so that's why I put them together. because I think people should try them out. Fantastic stuff. So, yeah.
Aganorsa is definitely one of my favorites too. They've put out some really impressive stuff. You know, over the years, I remember it was one of the first brands I was introduced to, and I fell in love with it. And you know, early this year, we had Terrence Riley on, and we actually smoked the Supreme Leaf with him. It was the only ones we were able to get our hands on at the time, but they were so good. They were so good, and yeah, I'm always impressed by that. And the Garden and the Farm, that's a great line too.
Yeah, they grow their own tobacco under Casa Fernandez, you know, and so they have the Aganorsa, which sells the wholesale tobacco to. I mean, they're one of the largest tobacco purveyors in Nicaragua, and then TAPSA is their factory. So you know, from stem to stern, they're it. You know, to me, I just think they're phenomenal. So that's why I chose that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that anyone should, if you haven't tried Aganorsa, you got to try it. But especially check that out. That sounds like an awesome sampler. And definitely check that out.
He sold me on the citrus and the nuttiness. That's like right up my alley.
See, Gerard's good with the notes too. He really gets those out there. That's not a lot of people do that.
We're gonna have to go shopping after this.
Yeah. Well, also before I forget, not to kind of throw off your rhythm, but I don't know if we mentioned it already. You are running a special tonight just for the viewers of the show, a 15% off coupon that expires tomorrow at midnight, I believe, correct?
Yeah.
And that's going to be code ST15 that they can use at mardocigars.com, and you can save 15% off of your order.
And it's at the bottom of the screen. It has been since the beginning of the show. So if anyone missed that, boom, that's what that's for.
There we go.
Yeah.
Just wanted to throw that out there. Okay.
Obviously, Smokin Tabacco, so that's why we did ST15 to make it appropriate for the show. So yeah,
absolutely
15% off. So on anything, a single stick. I just clicked all categories so you guys can have a heyday with it and just enjoy it. So that's basically it. What else did we put on there? I think I did accessories. So if you guys want to check out our accessory page, I think I used the Zycar. The reason why I like Zycar is just because their warranty. They do have a lifetime warranty on their lighters and their cutters, any standby. Yep. So doesn't matter how it got damaged. All you got to do is contact them. And majority of the time, they don't even repair the lighters anymore. I think it's cost effective to just send out a new one to the consumers, where before you'd send in your lighter, they used to repair it and then send it back, and now they just send a new one. Unless it's like a $500 lighter, I think then they'll repair it, but they don't have very, very high-end stuff. It's just some stuff here and there they have that's high-end, like the Maya series. I don't know if they even do the Maya series anymore.
I don't think they do.
No, that was a long time ago. But yeah, Zycar is great stuff. We like to sell it. And then we do have the gift certificates. I think that was something you can go to the website. If you're not sure what you want to buy your loved one or your friends, you can just go to mardocigars.com. And on the homepage, your last tab will say gift certificate. And that it's pretty easy. You just click on it, you fill out the information, and it's e-commerce based. So what you do is you get the email, you can print out the gift certificate at the comfort of your desktop or your computer, whatever, print it out, put an envelope and put it under the tree or whatever you want to do. And that's how they can redeem the gift certificate by visiting our website. So we have that there as well.
Yep, and that's up on screen right now. So as you can see, it's just an easy form to fill out. So
yeah, and then and the last one is I just saw that Jeff from Corona Cigars is getting the 25th anniversary, Byron Atabey's. I didn't know that until I put up this link for Atabey. The reason why we feel Atabey should be up there is just that special cigar that most people probably don't buy for themselves because it's up there in price tag. You know, they run anywhere from $21 for the little tiny thing up to $34. So as a gift, it's a very, very good idea because, as I mentioned, usually individuals don't buy that for themselves. They want to try it. So getting it gifted will be something really special because they'll be excited. Hey, I've always wanted to try the cigar, but I just never want to dish out the cash for it. So if you want to do something special, go for Atabey. Also, Byron as well is in the same category because it's the same manufacturer coming out from Select Tobacco.
And we agree because we are huge Atabey fans.
Yes, you are.
We just
Oh, yeah.
just stocked up on Black Friday with the Spiritus. We love that size. We have the Mysticos. What else?
Well, we got we got a lot of that. We got the
Well, you guys United. Well, two guys are United are the distributors. So you guys are the distributors of it in the country. So
yeah, we got Mystico, Spiritus, the Byron Aristocratus. We got Grand Poemas, which I save for special occasions. Those are my favorite cigar. I believe we have the what was that?
Those are not easy to come by. There was a Grand Poema that there was only 200 units of those. I forget which ones those were. It was a jar, and it was Grand Poema something. I forget. Anyway, I had a bunch of those. Those things sold out so fast, and they were numbered up to 200 units only.
Yeah, I think they're all 200 each. So they had two jars. It was the Petite Poema and the Poema, which came in a jar, which I believe Oliver had said, I think the jars are going away. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think he did say it because he was just on the show with us last week, was that? And I remember he talked about he was doing a little bit of some repackaging some of the line with Nelson Alfonso. Then there's the Grand Poema, and then there's the Epique Poema, the long one, which is a great one as well. That's a fantastic one. But yeah, the Poemas especially are harder to come by, especially the Grand Poema. I haven't even seen those this year so far.
I haven't seen them in a couple years.
Yeah, so last time I got a box, I think, was 2 years ago, and I've held on to it because it's one of my favorites. But yeah, I mean, we have a pretty nice lineup of Atabey and Byron. We get here and there, and we love it. We both love it. We smoke them, on occasion, and a lot of the people in my house who do smoke, they smoke those as well. It's definitely a favorite in the house. But yeah, no, it's a great one, and I think that it's one of those brands that not a lot of people, like you said, not a lot of people buy it for themselves because of the price tag. But I think there's also it's still kind of up and coming. It's one of those Byron and Atabey, I think, or even the Bandolero line is the three main ones from Selected Tobacco. Those they're still kind of up and coming. So there's a lot of people that still haven't even heard of them. And if you haven't, you should check them out. Don't let the if you're a big cigar smoker, especially, it's definitely worth trying. Smoke it with an open mind. They have that lighter wrapper on the Atabey, and I think a lot of people, there's a misconception. They see the lighter wrapper and they go, "Oh, it's going to be really mild," and they have a little bit of a strength to them. Not too much, but it's more than I think people would expect. And that's one of the things I like about it. You kind of go into it, and it's a little bit different than most cigars in that category. And I assume you use the code on that too. So you go on mardocigars.com, use the code, even if you get a couple of sticks just to try. I really, really recommend it. Like I said, we just had Oliver on the show too from United Cigar, and we talked about everything they have. But obviously Atabey, Byron, that's part of the lineup too. Atabey is a good one.
But I'd just like to point out that the Atabey was actually one of my first cigars that I had. And
I think it was your very first cigar.
It was my very first cigar, and I was hooked. And it's just such a great cigar. And I know a lot of newer smokers who love the Atabey. Yes, it has a kick, but it also has this smoothness to it. And I think it's just so nice. It's such a luxurious cigar. It's very well made. They really outdid themselves on it.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Gerard. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, as I'm going through your website, which I actually do pretty regularly, but because we were talking about like samplers, I wanted to go to I know you have a section on your website just for samplers. Mm-hmm. There's actually one that I saw you posted online, I want to say earlier this week, I think I saw, and with no reason, because of John is normally on the show, and he's at Atlanta Airport right now on his way back to Miami. So that's why he's not with us. But normally he would be. You did post a pretty impressive LFD sampler with 3 cigars that I absolutely love. You got the Bulls, the Lennox, and the La Volcata. Now, I know everyone likes the Bulls. Those are very popular. But the La Volcata, too. and John knows this too. Those are some of my favorite LFDs. I love those. Those are great cigars. And I really like how you had that sampler there. What's that? So that's like 15 cigars. The LFD Super Pack, you got 5 of each, and it's $198. I think that's a great sampler, especially if you're an LFD fan. Those 3 cigars together. I mean, those are just fantastic. Those are 3 of my favorites.
Yeah, that pack sold out, so we had to make a little bit more. And when it comes to the Andalusian Bull, we get a lot of requests. Hey, sell us by the box, sell us by the box, and we steer away from box sales on Andalusian Bull because we get cherry picked and it will just be sold out. And next thing you know, we have all this LFD that nobody wants to smoke because they don't think it's as good, and it doesn't do it any justice. So that's why I bundle things with the Andalusian Bull, gets people to have to buy the other product, and when they smoke it, they're like, oh my god, this stuff's great too. Well, that's the point, is to introduce you guys some other products as well. So as a matter of fact, the Reserva Especial from LFD is an Andalusian Bull, just a different wrapper. So I'm not sure if John ever had told you that. I've spoken to John about it personally over the phone regarding that blend. So I tell people, hey, this is the same cigar, just a different wrapper, and they're like, no. I'm like, all right, I'm just
John and I definitely have. I guess I can say this on here. We've definitely enjoyed some drinks together and talked about things before, and he's told me some things. That is a good cigar though. I remember I actually hadn't tried it till this year, and I remember I was like, whoa. He was like, dude, he had some, and he was like, you gotta try the cigar. I was actually at an event, and they were at an event or whatever, and he's like, hey, you gotta try this. And I was like, all right. And I remember I had it. I was like, whoa. I'm like, this is awesome. I'm like, why have I never had this before? That's the thing, especially with LFD, is they have some really good stuff. And I've been smoking them for a long time. Even before I was friends with John, I was smoking LFD. And I know that they kind of have that reputation of being like a strong cigar maker in general. Like a lot of their stuff is strong, but not all of it's super strong. And I think that, it's still worth trying. They have some really unique stuff. We had Tony Gomez on the show about a month ago now, which was funny because John had always told me, like, oh, well, speaking of the Andalusian Bull, he's like, well, Tony has these Andalusian Bulls that are not it's like his own size that he has. I forget what it is, like a Corona or something like that. And he's like, yeah, people see it and they're like, oh my God, I want those. And he's like, no, I only have these made for me. And he's like, it drives me nuts because everyone always asks me how to get them. And I'm like, you can't, they're only for Tony. So he has this like own size of the Andalusian Bull, which is kind of funny. But another one that I wanted to mention, because I see it getting, the brand itself, I see it getting more, what's the word, more airtime, like on social media. I see more people posting about it. I think it's picking up in popularity among, not that it's a name that hasn't been around, but the Plasencia sampler you have. I feel like I'm seeing more and more people starting to get into Plasencia, which is great because I think that's another great brand as well, especially the Almafuerte. I think that's a great one. That's one of my all-time favorite cigars. I really enjoy it. And I see that you have a sampler up here. You have the Almafuerte in, what sizes are those? You have is that the...
Let me check it. Let's see here. Plasencia sampler. Boom.
As well as the Almafuego.
Yeah, it has just one sampler. If you click on it and you go to features or specs, it actually tells you what is exactly in the cigar. So in features, it tells you it's a Reserva Robusto, El Fuego Candente, which is their Robusto.
There it is.
Fuego Concepcion, and then it's got the Fuerte Sicto, and then the Generacion from Fuerte as well. So that just gives people a good understanding of what they create. So therefore, you just buy the sampler, and that's basically it. So I think samplers are huge. They really, really do assist individuals to get some good understanding what the brands are, rather than just buy one. And that's the thing about our website too, is that we do offer single stick purchases.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody can go in there and make their own sample of whatever they want to do. A lot of websites, when it comes to single sticks, on the boutique spectrum, don't offer. And so that's something that we do offer. I do want to switch gears on one thing when you're done
No, absolutely. Go right ahead with it. Go right ahead.
Okay. So since we were talking about Atabey and Byron, and you did mention Bandolero, and a lot of people do not know the Bandolero, and so what happened when I met Oliver, I started inquiring a lot about the brand, and I want to talk about Bandolero because I have a product number 6620. I don't know if you can put that up, Nicole, but this right here is a Bandolero Selección Especial sampler. So Nelson Alfonso, I've been educated that he was the guy, the headmaster when it came to the Behike design packaging. Mm-hmm. So
yep.
Those humitubes that he creates, he's no longer doing those humitubes much.
Right.
So when it came to the Bandolero Selección Especial sampler, United, their distribution company, had 200 units in stock. 216 units, I want to say exact. I bought every single one of them. I wanted all of them because he doesn't create these anymore.
I actually have this set myself. It's fantastic. I love those tubes.
Yeah, and another thing that's unique is that not only are they obsolete, you can never find them again. I bought all of them, and then also they come in a humitube, so he doesn't do the humitube as much anymore. And then also every single size in that sampler is not a size you can find mass produced. So if you want to buy a jar of Bandolero, you cannot find these sizes, so you can buy a box. So if you bought the sampler, you're like, oh, I love this size, I want to go buy it now in a box of 20 or a box of 15 or a jar of 25. It doesn't exist. So these sizes are precisely just for the sampler only. So we have these on our website. I'm not sure how many units we have left, maybe 50 or 60 left out of 215 or 216 of them. So you can use your 15% discount to get these. And when they're gone, they're gone. They even come with a little solution for the humitube sponge in there. So that is a really cool collectible.
So I can kind of build off of that too, since I actually own the set myself. It's great. The cigars inside are great, and after you smoke them, you still have the tube, which is awesome because, if you're going out, you're going out somewhere, you're going to smoke, go to a lounge or wherever you're going to go, you're bringing a cigar from home. And you have cigars that will fit into the tube, of whatever it is that you have. They're great. They keep them fresh. They keep them protected. It's a nice, harder exterior. They won't get crushed. They won't get damaged. It keeps them fresh. It's too bad I didn't have them with me. They're in the house, but I would actually open one up for you. They're really cool because there's a little bit more to them than people realize. The bottom of them will actually unscrew and the foam cushion comes out, and you can moisten that with the solution, which helps keep the humidity inside the tube. But also, if you look at the rounded top on the end, if you unscrew that, there's actually a punch inside, and you can punch the cigar, keep it fresh, protect it, and travel with it all in one tube. And I think that's such an innovation. I think he made them for a few different sizes of Atabey, which they don't make anymore, and he made them for the Byron, one of the Byrons he made it for, I want to say it was the Elegantes, I think he made it for a few years ago. And I remember them, they were around in some of the shops up here, but now they're kind of gone. You don't really see them anymore.
The Ritos from Atabey gets one per box.
Yep.
And I think also I want to say the
Sabios, I think, has it too.
The Idolos, I think, has it now too, just a little tiny. But the Idolos is such a small tube, you can't really fit a lot of different sizes. Where this gives you an array of different sizes, and it's just a really cool thing. So.
Yeah, no, I think that's really cool that you brought that up, and I didn't even know you had those. I got mine a few years ago, and I haven't seen them since, but. They're still out there. So go to mardocigar.com, get those. Use the coupon code. Also,
we bought all of them. There's no more.
So he's the only game in town. He's got the monopoly on him. So if you want him, you got to buy him from mardocigar.com. Another thing that's really cool about your website is you do have a point system. You have the Mardo money system.
Yes.
I don't know if you want to talk about that. Maybe explain that to some maybe potential new customers.
Yeah, so the Mardo point system, we felt that is well deserved in our industry. So for every $1, you get 2 points, and in our point system, for instance, when you sign up for Mardo Money, you get automatic 500 points. And the 500 points are redeemable within like 1 business day. And an example, if you buy a $50 item, all you have to do is 100 points and you get $10 off. If you buy, a $100 item, you get $20 off and you use 200 points. And on our homepage, if you go to the bottom left corner, it says Mardo Money Rewards. When you click on that, it explains exactly how it works. There's an FAQ, there's how to earn points, how to get the rewards, and it breaks it down for you. So let's say you buy something for $50, you use 100 points, you get $10 off. But since now your total is $40, well, you just accrued 80 points. So every time you use points, you're also accruing because you're spending money. So it just keeps cyclically, revolving and increasing your point system to, if you spend $1,000, you can get $250 off. So it starts at around 18% all the way up to 25%. But on average, it's always going to be about a 20% savings when you are utilizing Mardo Money. And I think that's, across the board, everybody has their own system, their own program. We thought this works really well, and it's a very generous system. So, yeah, a lot of people do utilize it.
Yeah, it's a great system. I know that I have a Mardo account. I have accrued points. And I know that there are some exclusions to that, though. There are some products that you do exclude, but I know you guys also will label that too. Within the site as you're shopping, it'll say, hey, not Mardo Money eligible, and then you have Mardo Money eligible to let people know that you can use it on those items. Now, just to clarify, just for people who are watching at home, because I'm sure someone will have this question, you can't can you combine the Mardo Money with any promotional discounts that you have? Oh, I think we just lost him.
No, I'm right here.
Oh, there we go.
Even though I had do not disturb, a phone call still came in. So no, on some product that is not eligible, unfortunately, like, if I feature an Opus X sampler, it's such a rare item, we're not going to have any discounts on that product because we get such rare, like Andalusian Bull or like that Super Pack 15 is not eligible because it's so rare.
Right.
Just having it and getting our hands on it is the privilege of having that cigar. And, we got to keep the lights on too at the same time. So it's not like we discount everything, then we go out of business. We got to, we have quite a few employees here that rely on us for their paycheck every single, 2 weeks. So, yeah, so we got to just be careful what we're discounting because everybody, is always looking to save money. But we got to filter the cherry pickers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, I want to switch gears for a minute. So, Gerard, I got to know, what are your top 5 cigars?
Oh, my God. That is so hard.
That's why I said 5, not 1.
Okay.
Give you a little bit of wiggle room.
Let's see here.
I always love, can I just say while you're thinking about that, I'll give you a little extra time to think. I just want to say, I always love asking a retail owner this question too, because I know what goes through their mind. And I'm going to say it. It always I don't want to say anything I don't sell. A lot of times I see that reaction from people but no, it is hard because you know what? There are good cigars out there, and there are cigars that you enjoy, and especially I know let's say this, other than Jake Wyatt too. Let's leave the Jake. Other than Jake Wyatt, what would your top 5 be if you were to pick 5?
So obviously, the Opus Robusto is my favorite out of all the Robustos. Out of all the Opus that there's available.
Like the number 5?
No, just the Robusto. The regular
the Robusto
is my favorite Opus X of all time. Another one that I really like is El Borracho from Dapper. Their Maduro Order Sungrown, I think, is a fantastic cigar. He gets all his tobacco from Oliva family. So that's fantastic stuff out there.
Can I just say really quick? Hold on. Sorry, not to cut you off, but you actually introduced me to those earlier this year, and I bought some from you, and they were phenomenal. And that was it's a name that I haven't really seen around, I haven't really heard of, and you said, hey, try this, and I was like, okay, and I was blown away by those. So yeah, also you really should check those out. But anyway, sorry, keep going.
This next one I'm going to mention is going to really flip people's lid. They're going to be like, no way you just said that. And the reason why I'm going to say it is because I'm not a label smoker. I'm a cigar flavor chaser. And I did smoke, and I continue smoking it. The Gurkha Nicaragua is such an amazing cigar made by Aganorsa, and it has a bunch of Corojo in it. So if you've never tried the Gurkha Nicaragua, and I know they get bashed on a lot, that is a cigar that is so good. It is so good. I love that cigar.
I was gonna say, like, I know a lot of people hate on Gurkha, and I know that people have like their reasons. And for me, I try to steer away from that. But for me, it's just every Gurkha that I've had, it never really, and I've only tried a few, so I can't really say that they're all bad. But the few that I've had, like, I just didn't have a good experience with. But having said that, you've also made some really good recommendations, so I'm gonna have to take your word on this one. I'm gonna have to try that one.
Yeah, that's made by Aganorsa, by the way, and it's filled with Corojo. Is my favorite tobacco right now. That's just what I'm in love with, and that thing is filled with Corojo in and through. So that's a fantastic cigar. I really like that cigar. Another one, when I can get my hands on them, is the Neanderthal HS. The HS is a German exclusive, so we don't have it in the United States, unfortunately. So Roma Craft Neanderthal HS. It's like a Corona size, and that thing is fire. I just love that cigar. So that would be it. Another one, I mean, there's so many. I'll go boutique, brother. Well, they're both boutique-ish. Jeremy Jack Libelula. I don't know if you ever heard of Jeremy Jack Libelula.
I think I have.
That's a very good cigar. That's also, I think, made by Aganorsa. And it's Libelula. It's a silver band, has a dragonfly, and that's what Libelula means. I think it means a dragonfly. So that one's really good. And another one I'll throw out there is, well, we have an exclusive with it, but it's a phenomenal cigar. The Last Cowboy Maduro limited edition 2018. It's called the TNT. And that cigar is a huge stick. It's 6x56, but it has such salted caramel notes and the retrohale. My God, it's really, really good. I love that.
You're more than 5.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You're more than 5. But that one sounded
though.
delicious. Salted caramel.
What else is there? Gosh. Kaz Dagley, the Daughter of the Wind, the Dogman. That's really good.
Yeah, I've heard of that one. Yep.
The Daughter of the Wind. It's a really big stick. That's really good. So I'll just stop there. I can keep going.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's a cool lineup. I always like asking that question. Is I always hear about something that maybe I've never heard of before, stuff I haven't tried. Sometimes people get the habit of, they kind of get into their own way of smoking their own stuff, and they kind of put blinders on after a while, and they just kind of go, like, they don't pay attention. And sometimes you need to have those conversations with people to kind of like step back and like see outside the blinders and be like, what else is out there? And I remember I had some conversations with you earlier this year when I was like, hey, like, what do you have that's different? Like, I smoke this, like, tell me something I haven't heard of. Tell me something that you like that you think is worth it. And I remember one of those that you mentioned was the El Borracho, and I think I ordered a couple of the Sungrowns, and boy, I was in love with that cigar. It was fantastic.
They just put a new cigar too, by the way.
Oh, did they? What did they come out with?
Desvalido.
Desvalido.
Desvalido. It means hopeless in Spanish. And that's a new one from Dapper. They just came out with that. We do have those online, and that's a fantastic cigar as well. So try that out. Postania, which is also made under Nica Sueño, where they make the Roma Craft. Postania is their broadleaf is really, really good. So many good stuff out there that people have never heard of. That's why I really urge people to peruse our website and check out what we have. There's a new cigar that just came out from Honduras under a factory called Donley, called the Clown. That's an interesting cigar. It's a milder stick. It looks heavy, but it's really mild. We just picked up United from Oliver. I mean, I know he's been around for a long time. Jose Dominguez, we picked him up. Don Juan Calaveras, Katrina. What else have we picked up? Valakari. That is already sold out. That was a sampler for the holidays. Just so much stuff out there that's really, really cool. So El Artista came out, the Buffalo 10. I think we sold out of those. A lot of cool stuff, you guys. Check out Oscar Valadares. His stuff is pretty good. The Superfly.
Superfly's been getting a lot of attention this year.
Yeah, and then Cavalier Genève just came out with the limited edition 2020. We still have a couple boxes of those.
Yep.
So Blackbird is up there too. Check out the Camacho Nicaragua. I've been hearing a lot of good stuff about that. I haven't tried it yet, but it's doing pretty good. So
I think, Nicole, did you smoke one of those recently?
Yep.
Did you? I remember we had. I think I had one.
No, I did. Yeah. It was very good. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we do a lot of stuff with Sinistro. Their gold edition, the Mr. White Gold edition. That's another one that I ordered. That's another story in itself. We're the only ones that have the gold edition right now until he actually introduces it to the market. We bought the whole entire production of it. If you want me to get into it, I can, but it's up to you guys.
Well, no, I was gonna say we're actually getting ready to wind down. We wanted to keep this to an hour. Kind of like I said, we're kind of playing a little bit different than our normal routine. Normally we do a much longer show, but we were trying to keep it within an hour. But no, I mean that's really cool. One of the things I do want to say is one of the things I like about Mardo is you guys have a really nice selection, a really wide selection, but you have the mainstream stuff, you have the popular stuff, but you also have a lot of these smaller names or maybe names that are, more boutique-like, names that maybe a lot of people who just kind of go mainstream all the time, they might have never heard of. That's one of the things I like about your site is that
Thank you.
There's always something different to find. And as a cigar smoker, or especially an everyday cigar smoker like myself, that's important because it's so easy to get caught up in like smoking Padron and Fuente and all that stuff every day, which are great brands, great cigars. Nothing against them. Yeah, you can get them everywhere. But if you go to Mardo, you'll find stuff like the El Borracho. I didn't know about it until I talked to you, and then I'm like, oh, what's this? I've never heard of it, and I got it. And I was like, wow. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I thought it was like $5.99 or so, $6.99. They weren't very expensive.
No, they're $7.
Yeah, but good price for a good cigar. I think that that's one of the things I love about your store and your website is you guys have some really cool stuff. And I was really excited when we wanted to come on the show and talk a little bit about Mardo, talk a little bit about yourself, talk about kind of like what you guys going on, because I thought it was really important for people to, if they haven't heard of you, and kind of get to know you guys a little bit better too, because like I said, you guys have a really nice approach to the industry, and I've always been a fan, I've always been a customer, so I wanted everyone else to kind of see that. So yeah, thank you for coming on the show. Thank you. I know you're a busy guy. Appreciate your time. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you showing us kind of like what you guys got going on, what's available, telling us a little bit more about yourself and Mardo and Jake Wyatt. And it's all good stuff. And like I said before, and I think it's still on the screen. I'm not sure. I can't see the main feed, but ST15 will get you 15% off your order at mardocigars.com, and that is valid until tomorrow night at midnight. So yeah, anything we talked about on the show, if you haven't had it, or even if you do like it, take advantage of the coupon. Go on there, order it, use it, check it out. We're going to put it on social media too. If you didn't see the episode, we'll make sure that everyone hears about it. And yeah, so Gerard, thank you for coming on. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks, guys. Pleasure.
Yeah. We'll definitely be in touch with you again in the future, and any other specials that you have coming out or anything like that, let us know. We'll share that with the world. And Nicole, again, thank you for filling in. No John here again. John's been traveling a little bit right now as he kind of wraps up the year, and it was a slow year, so I feel like he's kind of making up for a lot of the lost time. But he will be with us tomorrow as we head to our final round of this triple play week that we don't ever really do. But like I said, we had a fun week planned. Jeff and Gerard came on. Fantastic episodes. And tomorrow we have Jose Blanco at 4 p.m. Eastern. So Fuente fans, La Aurora fans, he was with La Aurora for a while. EPC he was with. So definitely check out that episode. You're not going to want to miss it. It's going to be fun. Until then, we'll see you tomorrow night. Stay smoky. See you guys.
Yeah. Thank you.